I think I'm on here? Okay, welcome. Welcome, because now you're in my book. All right? And the first thing I want to do is I'm going to come across, I'm going to go off the cuff. That's the way I like to do things. I don't believe in cookie cutting anything because life's not a cookie cutter. Okay? Routines and all that bullshit, if you want that, get your training wheels on. Okay? Because there's other layers, levels above and beyond that. If you want to be in the moment, that's where interaction occurs. You have to be present. Okay? Present means being grounded. How many people here feel like when they're talking to a woman, they're grounded? Okay? You got to concentrate on that first. How many guys, when you talk to a woman, are inside your own head? Okay? Guess what? That's not where you need to be. Okay? With hypnosis is what they call that downtime, when you're inside your own head. If you're inside your own head, guess what? You're not really being attentive to her. And a woman needs that. If you're going to make contact with a person, an intimate interaction, and you're not noticing who she is on the inside, but you're basically projecting an inner model of what you think she is because you're inside your own bullshit, it's not a good place to be. Okay? So I just want to bring this across. What I also want to do in this seminar, large gathering, is I want to ask questions. Like I said, I don't believe in cookie cutting anything, and I want to be able to give anyone here, on the limited time that we have, any kind of advice that may be able to move you further along. And that goes all the way to marriage, because I guarantee I definitely do not live the traditional marriage. Okay? But I'm happy. In this whole process, you have to be happy. Okay? There's a process, I think is it Heisenberg or
Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Did anyone talk about that?
No.
The Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Thank you. I was thinking Hindenburg.
That's okay.
You know, so you gotta walk up that big hill. You're on. So Heisenberg uncertainty principle basically means that you always, and never, never be able to understand everything that truly is, ever was, or will be. So to a degree, we're always walking in a state of uncertainty. And you have to learn to absolutely accept and love that process. And that could be, you know, getting your ass up out of bed and going to the gym. It could be walking over and saying hello. Because that's as basic as you get. You know, get the fuck out of these ways of saying this pattern and that pattern. Get out of that shit. You know, learn to appreciate the moment of learning. The extreme. And then guess what? If you go up to a woman, you're living in the extreme because probably 70% of the men out there don't. They live a scared life. And let me tell you, because I'm 40 years old now, and I have to say that, and I know this is a frame that I'm working myself out of, however, that being said, at 40, you don't have the mojo like you once did, okay? And being able to look back and say, you know what? At that phase of my life, it's what my book's about. I call it the metaphor phase of life, okay? You need to be able to look back and go, you know what? During that phase, that was it. That's when I put the attack on. That's when life was good. You know, life still is great. That's when life in that whole phase, what I call the metaphor, is about. You know, going out there. Because don't get to my age and look back and say I coulda, woulda, shoulda. So no matter how hard it feels to be able to go out there and meet women, you know, you have to do it because as you develop and you learn in each situation that you go to, through the extreme, you're going to get better. You have to get good at being bad. And that's ambiguous. It takes on a lot of different meaning. Okay, because once you're bad, then you start to feel the good. Okay. And you also have to surround yourself. This is one of the biggest principles in the book when I talk about it, is you have to surround yourself with women. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, I dislike coming to these things. Because I don't like surrounding myself with men. Okay? You're never going to learn about women hanging around men. Okay, and I believe cowards run in groups. Okay, you can see it all the way up. It's bred in our society. It's not a bad thing. It's just something to get above and beyond. Because you don't want to be there. The individual, the man who can stand up on straight, that's the man that's attractive to women. You know? How many guys here have learned a lot? okay, to a degree, from someone in this room. How many women or how many men have learned more about being around women? Okay, with that being said, how many men hang around women all the time? Okay, how many men don't hang around women? Very often. Okay, what I say is like this: you got to surround yourself with women. You got to understand women. You got to immerse yourself with women. This is what I did my entire life. Okay, and the way you get good with them is learning about them. It's like going fishing. Where do you want to put your lure? You want to put it in an ocean that's filled with fish? Okay, not metaphorically speaking, because it's not a good analogy, you know. So, anyways, back to the source. Or do you want to cast your line, your hook, into the middle of the street? Okay, I want you guys to be very conscious about this. Where are you spending your time? Are you locked up in a cubicle? What are you doing? You have to get up, out, off of your ass, and get the fuck out. Okay? Because this phase goes by really quickly. And I already missed this phase. It's a wonderful phase. I miss it. You know, going out there and all that party town, you get older, hey, you know what? Things change. It's another layer, it's another level. Okay? But most of you guys are young. Think to yourself, look, if it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be me that does it. You have to say that whole phrase again. You know, if it's going to be, it's got to be up to me. Get the fuck out of your ass and go do it. Does anyone know my favorite spots and read about where I enjoyed picking up women? No?
Strip clubs.
Yeah.
Where?
Strip clubs.
What thoughts?
Strip club. Strip club.
Well, strip club.
Pacers!
Pacer, there you go. Yeah, last night was exciting. I don't know if you read my Facebook, but first time in my life I had to actually take down a cop. You know, so it was interesting. I've never seen that before, but he shouldn't have elbowed my friend. It wasn't a good thing. He was drunk, by the way, and he got arrested. And I was videotaping with one hand. It was interesting. But I want you to think outside the box, because that's what I did this whole entire time. I know a lot of guys in the community go, oh, look, you're all buff and you do this and you work with strippers. Well, you know, I didn't wave the magic wand and say, poof, I was here. You know, I tell the story all the time. I was a fat kid, white, freckled-faced. I was definitely that guy at the party that kept the shirt on, acne on my face, acne on my back, missing 2 teeth, freckles, and a bowl haircut. Okay, and I remember making a conscious thing about probably around 14, looking over, and I was just like, you know, my friend who was working out at the time, and all the girls were touching his abs, asking him to flex, and I was like, fuck this. I'm not going to live this life. From there, I started working out. That was for phase 1. Okay, that got me to build my body up to the point where now girls are going, oh, look at his muscles and shit like this. Maybe, you know, cut off his head, but his muscles are nice. it was better than being the Jelly Roll guy, okay, the Michelin Man. So it was one step. But then what I started to do is I started to base my confidence on my muscles. It'd be 50 degrees out, you know, down in Tijuana, Mexico, partying, and I'd be wearing a tank top. Okay, basing my confidence off of my looks. Okay, there's another phase. Move past that. Okay, then you start averaging it out. Start thinking to yourself, okay, where do I need to go? Think about it, okay? Where are the women? Where can I get an easy grade, which I was thinking at the time? The choir. How many guys run the choir? About 6 gay guys. Not you guys, I'm sorry. But how many guys run the choir? At my place, about 6 gay guys. I figured out, hey, you know what? There's 80 girls and 6 gay guys. Good odds. So I went there, I started hanging around women. Guess what? I started to learn about women. Started, you know, feel comfortable around women. If you can't feel comfortable with and around women, you're fucked. You know, your apprehension will always push back on their hesitation. Okay? They will always feel that. You know, when you think about your energy when you approach them, like, what is the energy as a metaphor you can use? And start thinking out across contextually in your mind. Start switching senses. You know, most guys, and unfortunately in this community, I see the cool community, which I do not consider myself a part of. However, that being said, I want you guys to realize, like, you know, how many different ways do you have about meeting a woman? Okay? When you guys look at a woman as a target, or you have all these technical military terms, that's not a good metaphor, because at the base of that, it usually means it's a war. I don't ever believe it was us